Star Trek, Section 31 movie sequel. Everything we know, the long-awaited Star Trek, Section 31 movie, fronted by Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh, has already generated huge excitement for diving into the shadowy heart of Starfleet. With Yeoh reprising her role as Emperor Philippa Georgiou, fans are set to witness one of the franchise's most morally complex adventures yet. But now that the project is officially in motion, a big question is already circling the warp core. Could Section 31 become a series of movies instead of just one? Here's everything we know so far about the prospects for a Star Trek Section 31 sequel, Paramount's shadowy franchise gambit. Ever since Yeoh's Emperor Georgiou was whisked away from Star Trek Discovery by the Guardian of Forever, speculation has been running wild about what became of her. The answer arrives in Section 31, which will explore Georgiou's recruitment into the Federation's most secretive agency. Unlike the bright optimism of the Enterprise D or the exploration first mandate of Voyager, Section 31 thrives in moral gray areas. They protect the Federation not through diplomacy, but through sabotage, infiltration, and calculated ruthlessness. A movie centered on that world is already a bold tonal shift for Star Trek. The franchise has been betting heavily on cross-platform storytelling, from the family-friendly Prodigy to the nostalgia-driven Picard and Strange New Worlds. If Section 31 succeeds, Paramount may well see it as a launchpad for a darker Star Trek film series, one that could finally compete with the spy thriller dominance of franchises like Mission Impossible or James Bond. Michelle Yeoh's star power. Michelle Yeoh's influence cannot be overstated. After her Oscar-winning turn in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Yeoh became one of Hollywood's most in-demand stars. Paramount had to adjust their schedule just to secure her involvement. That kind of commitment suggests the studio is already treating Section 31 as more than a one-off. Yeoh herself has hinted in interviews that Georgiou's story is far from finished. The character's blend of ruthless pragmatism and reluctant attachment to the ideals of Starfleet gives her plenty of room for long-term development. A sequel could further explore how Georgiou balances her Terran instincts with the Federation's supposedly enlightened morality. If audiences respond strongly, it's hard to imagine Paramount not greenlighting a follow-up, especially with Yeoh's name now carrying international box office weight. Sequel possibilities. What could come next? So, what might a Section 31 sequel actually look like? Several possibilities already line up across the Star Trek timeline. 1. The Khan Connection. Section 31's genetic engineering research has always loomed in the background of Star Trek. A sequel could dive deeper into the organization's experiments that eventually led to Khan Noonien Singh, directly tying Georgiou's missions to Strange New Worlds. 2. The Dominion Aftermath. The Dominion War in Deep Space Nine gave Section 31 some of its most controversial storylines, including the release of the morphogenic virus against the Founders. A sequel could show Georgiou navigating the political fallout of those choices, perhaps forcing her to confront the price of necessary evils. 3. Temporal Cold War threads. Section 31 has dabbled in time manipulation before, and Georgiou's relocation by the Guardian of Forever already involves temporal mechanics. A sequel could see her embroiled in conflicts with time-traveling factions, linking Discovery, Enterprise, and even Picard. 4. The Mirror Universe Revisited. As an ex-emperor of the Terran Empire, Georgiou will always be haunted by her past. A sequel might tempt her to return to the Mirror Universe, only to discover it's no longer what she remembers. Each of these setups could allow Paramount to build a trilogy-style arc for Georgiou and Section 31, while tying into the wider Star Trek mythos. Challenges ahead. Of course, a sequel is not guaranteed. The first film must prove it can balance the Star Trek spirit with the darker espionage tone. Too grim, and it risks alienating longtime Trekkies. Too optimistic, and it undermines the very reason Section 31 exists. There's also the matter of scope. Unlike most Star Trek entries, Section 31 is currently billed as a streaming movie for Paramount+. While streaming opens the door for smaller risks and targeted storytelling, it also limits box office metrics that normally drive sequels. For a continuation to happen, Paramount will need strong subscriber boosts and critical acclaim. What it means for Star Trek's future. If Section 31 leads to a sequel, it could mark a turning point for the franchise's storytelling model. Traditionally, Star Trek films have centered on ensemble crews. The original series, The Next Generation, a Georgiou-focused Section 31 series would break that mold, following a single anti-hero protagonist across multiple films. It would also expand the range of Star Trek's tonal palette. Fans could enjoy the adventurous optimism of Strange New Worlds while also diving into the gritty realpolitik of Section 31. Just as Marvel uses varied tones for its different heroes, Paramount may be aiming to create a flexible Star Trek universe where espionage, comedy, exploration, and philosophy coexist under one banner. Final word.